What's up, people? I am back for another video. Today, we are reviewing... We're not reviewing. Today, we're going to be doing... I haven't done one of these in a while. And not to make it political, but just... But, you know, I haven't been able to do one of these. It's like, since Trump got elected, it was like... There was, like, I haven't really found anything I wanted to talk about, so that's why, like, there hasn't really been any in a bit. But I found one, and I was able to find one, so... And this one is pretty stupid. I read ahead, so I wanted to get to this one. And I will be doing a top 6, really, because I did find a runner-up, but I'll do 6 werewolf films. I'll be doing that tomorrow night. Probably after, because I know tomorrow night for Pin Down, we're going to be doing our AEW Dynamite recap. So probably after that, like sometime later in the evening tomorrow, I'll do that. But yeah, for right now, this is going to be the main video. And then Thursday, I'm going to do a movie. It's another werewolf movie. I've been on a bit of a werewolf kick. Oh, I got to mention, I should have mentioned this. I saw the Wolfman, the new one. I didn't feel like doing a whole video on it. I just decided I'll do a quick mini review. So I'll just... Shit. I'll say... It's not as bad as I thought it was. But don't go in expecting, like, a traditional werewolf movie, because it's not. And definitely don't expect it to be an adaptation of, like, the Wolfman, like, let's say the 2010 was, you know, because they had the same names, you know, Larry Talbot, and, you know, John Talbot as the dad, or they changed the name in the remake. I think the remake it's Lawrence, but it relatively was similar story. This is not that. This is about a dad who gets bit and they treat it as more like a disease. So if you go in thinking that it's not a traditional werewolf movie, but I will say, it's not as... It has moments, and it's one of Blumhouse's better movies in a while. Don't think I'd watch it again, or at least go out of my way to watch it again, but it's okay. I didn't mind the design. It was kind of cool to see a good dad in a film. And I did like the isolated aspect about it, too. Like, they're in this, you know, in this house in the woods against this werewolf. So I'll say that aspect, it was good. It was just... Don't go in expecting a traditional werewolf movie. But out of 10, I'd give it like a 6. Yeah, 6. But anyway. I found a Screenrant article. The title, You Should Give a Chance to Terminator's Most Underrated Movie. And to them, the most underrated Terminator movie is Terminator Dark Fate, or Derp Fate as I call it. I don't know how you can call this one underrated. This is the one that arguably killed the franchise. You know, Genesis, at least, the way I looked at it like an Elseworld story. I didn't, like, look at it as, like, a traditional... traditional Terminator movie. At least it tried something different. Like I said, there was bad. Like, Emilia Clarke, good actress, shouldn't have been Sarah Connor. Probably making John Connor the villain was probably not a good idea, ultimately. Even though it was dumb that they released that in the trailer, but even that not being in the trailer, they probably shouldn't have did that. But there's some cool things in it. At least Arnold was having fun in it, unlike in Dark Fate, where... he was kind of phoning it in, what they do to his character by making him a Draper, obviously killing John Connor in the first 5 fucking minutes. I will never forgive him for that. No, destroying Sarah Connor's character, which we'll get into. So, to them, it's underrated. And then, you know, they're saying, well, not popular is a direction they could have taken because they're basically defending John Connor getting killed off in the first 5 minutes and destroying Sarah Connor. And what Sarah Connor does is for nothing. Skynet always comes back. They changed the name to Legion. Oh, the fact that it was like Romulus, where it was a conglomerate of just a bunch of scenes we've seen in other Terminator movies. You had a highway chase, like in the first two. It ends at a factory, like in the first two. Um, the same kind of chase scene. Somewhere where they got to hide out. There's a scene where they hide out for a bit. It's the same. And then the lead they got to play the new John Connor was fucking shit. Because I don't like that. This franchise, since 1984, has told us John Connor is the future. Nope. Fuck that. Dark Fate, honestly, is up there with, like, the sequel trilogy in terms of character destruction. I would say worse because, you know, with the way Mark Hamill's been acting, I almost, like, I'm not as mad about the Luke thing, I'll be honest, like I used to be. And plus, I'm just over Star Wars now. I still watch Terminator. I'll admit I can ignore Dark Fate, but it's still just, what the fuck? And then the scene at the border center, which was clearly like an immigration allegory, it was, Sarah Connor basically saying fuck motherhood, essentially basically saying fuck her whole arc from the first two films. Fuck Dark Fate. Maybe one day, guys, I'll suffer it for a video, for a review one day, because I do want to. I'll be honest though, part of me wishes I was still doing YouTube at the time when that came out, because boy, that would have been a hell of a fucking rant video. but I'll still do it. I'll probably review it, not this week. Yeah, maybe not this week because I already kind of got stuff planned. Actually, you know what? Fuck it, I'll do it this week. I'll probably do it Friday because I already kind of got videos set for tomorrow. Thursday, I don't really have anything for Friday yet. Because, like, Flight Risk, I'm not rushing to see. I'll review that for the channel. But if that's up on the seas, if it's not up on the seas on the weekend, I'll be fine. So I'll just, Friday I'll do that video. Because I do want to roast it. Because I think it deserves, and I want to go into more detail about it. So I'll go into a little bit here. So I guess this will be somewhat I'm not going to go too into it because I'm obviously going to do a whole review. But I guess I'll be partially, or not a review, but like my opinions on it. But let's get into this shit. Like always, subscribe to Pin Down Podcast. Subscribe to Pin Down Podcast. We will be streaming tomorrow for our Dynamite roast. Oh, great. I'm not looking forward to that at all. And subscribe to Pin Down Podcast. But other than that, this is their first reason. Terminator Dark Fate is the best Terminator movie since T2. Oh my god. Fuck you. Terminator, let me read this first paragraph. Terminator Dark Fate embraces nostalgia for the first two Terminator movies while introducing new ideas and visuals to a modern audience. No, it fucking doesn't! What the fuck? It uses nostalgia for cheap pop. I'll say that. Like, if anything, they just have Arnold in there, and yeah, he says I'll be back and all those lines, but it's hollow. It's the same thing when they throw, like, Vader and shit now in Star Wars. Just like, it's just hollow. Oh, it brought Linda Hamilton back as the first Terminator back since T2. But she doesn't actually do anything. You destroy her character. You have, not just destroy a character, you have her do it. Shitting on her motherhood and saying, they just want you for your womb. Like, you Luke Skywalker made her a bitter old bitch. What the fuck? Sarah Connor to me, and that's why I'm getting a little loud here. Sarah Connor to me is one of my favorite female. She's my favorite female character of all time. Her and Ripley, but I think she edges out Ripley because Sarah Connor's arc from T1 to T2, you know, going from just like, I don't want to say damsel, but you know, but even in the movie, like, yeah, she starts off like a normal girl. You know, she's a waitress, you know, lives in an apartment with her friend, does normal normal things. And then now she's thrust into this life, and now, this machine coming after her, and then obviously she eventually adapts, and then by the end, having to kill it, and then by T2, she's fit, and, she's doing pull-ups, she's military trained, she can fend for herself, but the ultimate thing that carried her is her love for John. And that's what truly makes her a great character. And they fucking destroy her in this. And she's not like she's charismatic. And even when she's doing the action scenes, it doesn't hit. And I'm just going to say it. No disrespect to Linda Hamilton. She hasn't aged well. I'm just going to say it. I think Jamie Lee Curtis has aged well. Like, even in Halloween, like the newer Halloween movies, they try to make her look a little disheveled. She doesn't look her age. Linda Hamilton has not aged well. The sequels after Judgment Day have made the mistake of folks. Actually, you know what? I'd rather them do that. Not focus on nostalgia and world building, which I actually would argue the one that did world building after 2 the best was, if I'm gonna be honest, Salvation. We got to see the future war, and how all that works. That's something I've always wanted to see. I just think there was issues with that movie, but at least it did something different. If we're gonna be real, the best Terminator since 2 is probably 3, just by default. At least Arnold had great moments in it. I still like the action. It is a watered down T2, and I've always called it. I've always called it that. But at least it's a fun movie. I actually really love the ending, the way it sets up basically Judgment Day and Skynet. So at least it's a solid film. The way I see it, if there was a sequel to T2, that's what this would be. But to me, it's still not truly canon. To me, Terminator is just 2 movies. I think 2, especially if you watch the extended cut and you have like that alternate ending where Sarah Connor's older and she thanks Terminator John Connor as kids. Judgment Day was diverted. To me, I prefer that ending. That's just me. But I can accept 3 if there was a sequel, that being it. But that's it. At least canon-wise. But this one doesn't do that. There's no character-driven. Like, what characters? The new Terminator Grace was forgettable. I found her forgettable. The bad guy Terminator was just a rip-off T-1000. And I like the actor who played him. Is the guy who played, if you've seen Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., he was the guy who played Ghost Rider, the Ghost Driver in that. And just does nothing in this. Arnold is a parody of himself, borderline, in this fucking movie. Obviously, what they do to John Connor. And what do you mean embraces nostalgia? Yeah, shoots John Connor in the face, and he's basically not a factor in the rest of the film at all. Fuck off. Fuck this movie. Alright, what's another reason? Oh my god, this essentially restarted the timeline after the best Terminator sequel, which gives the franchise a chance to return to it. How? Killing John Connor the way they fucking did does nothing. What do you mean? What do you mean? Destroying Sarah Connor. That's embracing its success? Really? This movie is so bad, we haven't had a Terminator movie. Terminator's is now in limbo again. And it's been in limbo now, what, going on 5 years? Or, no, 6 years now, because the last one was 2019. What do you mean? At least the other Terminator sequels didn't do that. They didn't shoot John Connor in the face. They didn't destroy Sarah Connor as a character. I'll be honest, I thought it was kind of lame how they wrote off Sarah Connor in Terminator 3. Where she just dies because of, like, I think it was, like, pneumonia or some shit. But I just think and at least, like, Salvation is the only one that went a different direction. And I still did like Christian Bale's performance as John Connor. I just found Sam Worthington. Sam Worthington's character, I just found him kind of, boring. But at least it still respected the lore. And even Genesis, at least I look as an Elseworld story, and I actually do like the opening of that film when they are in like the future. You know, it has problems, but at least it didn't destroy Sarah Connor like this one did. This one destroyed Sarah Connor. And the fact like you're trying to act like this is a good film. Okay. And I even like this headline. Dark Fate has flaws, but it's much better than all the other Terminator sequels. Like, alright, let's see. What? Terminator Salvation did not give John Connor the character development that he need. I.e., what? You wanted him to get shot in the face in the first 5 minutes? Yeah, that's total development, guys. And then John Connor's a non-factor for the rest of the fucking movie. This movie, man. Oh, so killing John Connor early. Yeah, that's total character. That's you just fucking. You literally just. Wow, way to just sidestep your own point. For one, you said, "Oh, John Connor development that he needed. Salvation didn't give him that." But then in this one, he killed him early, so he can't have any development now. And okay, now I guess we're just gonna get into the last thing. I think this is the last thing. Why Dark Fate flopped at the box office? One, it's easy. For one, it just didn't look good. A lot of people were just over Terminator. By this, because a lot of people hate Genesis. Salvation, I think, is mixed, but people hated Genesis. I think people are just kind of done with Terminator, and just a lot of people's minds, especially Terminator fans. It's just the two movies, really. I just think that's what it. And also, killing John Connor early. And if I remember, too, the script leaked early. So I knew about John Connor getting killed for months. But I thought it was I'll be honest, I didn't think it was real. And I knew the TLJ, because at the same time, the Rise of Palpatine leaks came out. And those were real, unfortunately. But I thought this was like, okay, maybe this is fake. This is bull. No, it was real. It was all real. Some reviewers criticize the movie's focus on female. No. That's not what the problem was. We look. You dumb fucks. We still love the first two movies, and they were female led, really. Okay, more the second one, I would say was definitely more Arnold and John Connor, but definitely Sarah Connor is still a big role in that, and she was definitely the lead in the first one. We still love her character. What are you talking about? It's not the problem with female characters. Killing John Connor in the first 5 minutes, the moment a lot of people heard that just turned them off. They're like, oh, fuck this movie. I remember telling a couple people about that fucking scene, and they're like, nope, I'm not seeing it. The fact that it basically just ripped off scenes too from other Terminator movies, just like Romulus did with the Alien, where it was just like, here's scenes you've seen before, but bad. Nothing interesting. It was boring. Oh, generally, this is a reflection of bias. Fuck off. Rotten Tomato score. Oh, wow. You're using Rotten Tomato scores to show it was on the right track. No, it wasn't. Killing John Connor. I'm going to keep harping on that, and I'm going to harp on that more in my review. In the way they did. No. That is not... You're not going to be able to go anywhere with that. Basically pulling the sequel trilogy too by just changing the names. Instead of Skynet, it was Legion. Like, instead of the Empire, the First Order. It's the same shit. The leads were not good. The action was boring because it was shit we've seen in a lot of other Terminators. The actual supposed new John Connor was just boring. I don't even remember her fucking name. I don't remember a lot of shit from this movie outside of that part in the beginning. And it sucks because the de-aging technology looked good. You know, it looked fucking good. And it just... sad, because of all, like, the de-aging technology I've seen in, like, movies, this is, like, the best one. And they do that shit. And then have Sarah Connor just shit on her character arc. Fuck this film. I'm happy this flopped, and I know James Cameron's thinking of doing a Terminator, so he better not. Leave Terminator alone. Unless you're doing a future war movie, which I just don't think they want to do that. I think they want Arnold in it. They want to just do... basically, Terminator's in the same loop that kind of Alien is, where it's just want to do the first two movies over again, where it's a bad Terminator and a good Terminator. They just want to keep doing that loop, going back in the past. So they can't keep doing that. People are over it. At least Genesis, they did something different. Whatever, even if you didn't like it, at least it was something different. This was just, let's just send another bad Terminator and then a good Terminator back in time again. And have the same, basically, sequences, chasing. It's all formulated the same. But what the fuck, Screenrant? Why are you defending this movie? No one's talked about this movie. You notice this movie is not in the pop culture ether. It hasn't been in the last 6 years. It's forgotten for a fucking reason. This movie is criminal. And the fact that James Cameron, I should have mentioned his role in this more. The fact that he basically is the one who wrote that whole idea of John Connor killing John Connor in the first 5 minutes. I was thinking partially that it was maybe because he got tired of being asked about Terminator. But now he wants to do a Terminator 7, so I don't know. Leave it alone. Terminator's dead, man. Terminator is just 2 movies. Maybe 3 if you want to include Rise of the Machines, but for me it's just 2. I think T2 has a nice ending, and it's a nice swan song kind of ending. I don't need another one. Leave it alone. It's bastardized enough. Do we just need another bad Terminator goes back in time, and then what, Arnold's there too, so we can have him say some lines? No, man. Fuck. Leave Terminator alone. Fuck Dark Fate. Fuck that movie. I don't know how anyone can defend it, and how you can try to say this is the best Terminator sequel. I would listen to this if you were saying, like, even, like, Salvation was, because at least I can see an argument. Okay, that was actually doing the future war. You had Christian Bale, and there were some good ideas. I just think it wasn't great, but I could at least see the argument there. Not Dark Fate. Fuck this movie. I'm gonna keep saying it. I'm gonna reiterate. My hatred for this movie is high. Ugh. Easily the worst Terminator movie, like, by far. But anyways, I'm gonna call it here. Tomorrow I will be doing my werewolf list, which I think I put a good list together, so that'll be fun to do. Thursday, Bad Moon review, and then Friday, fortunately, I'm gonna be reviewing this piece of shit. So, but anyways, guys, subscribe to Pin Down Podcast. We will be live tomorrow. I'll put the Spotify link in the description too. But anyways, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Peace.